Previously on Recipes for Success, Will and his Indonesia sous chefs arrived in Tasmania. They are taking part in the Savor Tasmania festival, and on Wednesday night they served 60 guests at the culinary cuisine dinner. Now they have 3 days to prepare for the 650-seat long table dinner on Saturday night. Last night, Will served his guests a dessert whiskey from award-winning whiskey makers Lark Distillery.
Being from Scotland, I obviously have a great love for my whiskey. And I have to say, I'm a bit patriotic about what whiskey I drink.
Hey,
Will,
how are you?
I'm good, mate.
Good to see you.
Good to see you
This
too.
is obviously Lark's homebrew distillery, famous whiskey in the world.
It is. Welcome, and come in, and we might get a little bit warm and go and have a look at the still.
Fantastic.
So when I heard that Lark Whiskey Distillery recently won Best Single Malt Whiskey in the World, I had to check it out for myself.
How did you get into the whole whiskey business?
It's one of those funny little stories where people often say to you, you need to be careful what you wish for because it just might happen. And I used to enjoy drinking my Scottish whiskies. I still do, love them to bits. My father-in-law, Old Scott, introduced me to malt whiskey.
Yeah.
But we also enjoyed fly fishing. And on a fly fishing trip in the Central Highlands of Tasmania some 25 years ago, we were enjoying some malt whiskey whilst barbecuing a trout, and we said to each other, Tasmania has great barley. We know that because of the beer we make here. We thought the climate was okay. We knew there were peat fields up the road, peat bogs. And we said to each other, I wonder why somebody doesn't make whiskey in Tasmania. One of those silly little things you say, and 22 years ago, we were issued with the first licence to distill in Tasmania since 1839.
In the 1830s, Governor John Franklin was so worried that too much of his fledgling island community's grain was being turned into booze rather than food that he banned the distilling of alcohol on the island. And it wasn't until the 1990s that Franklin's edict was repealed by Tasmanian Parliament.
The Scottish industry loves what we're doing. They love the fact that we're making good whiskey.
That's good.
They're very excited about what we're doing here, and our whiskey is holding up.
Their whiskey does hold up. And don't just take it from a Scot. We served it up at Henry Jones last night and it went down like a treat.
Well, I think it's time we had a little whiskey.
I would love to have some whiskey.
Bit of the final product here.
Final product here.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Cheers.
Thank you, Chris. Cheers. Chin chin.
Chris, Will. Now, can you pick up on some of those floral notes I was talking about
Yeah, I've
earlier?
got the floral notes.
And that comes from Tasmania's wonderful cool climate barley. Those beautiful floral notes.
It's lovely.
And then delivering that rich oily malt across the middle.
I can tell you one secret.
What's
I'm
that?
actually Scottish and I don't like whiskey. But saying that,
That's a curable problem.
what I do love is whiskey sours, and I'm starting to really get into a lot of the cocktails and traditional cocktails, like more of those prohibition cocktails that are more alcohol based, that are actually highlighting the spirits as they are. Cheers for that.
Will.
This is very good. It's a fantastic drop.
To your good health.
To your good health as well.
It's so good to see Will and the likes of Will coming to Tasmania to see our whiskey. We're now exporting our whiskey to Asia, and we're going through Asia into China and Japan shortly. People over there are loving our whiskey, and restaurants are looking to using Tasmanian whiskey in their different food preparations. To just have somebody like Will come out here and see firsthand how we make our whiskey is a wonderful opportunity for him to extend that back into what he does with food.
This has been an amazing experience to be able to come in, and Bill's been very kind, and Lynn to allow me to come in and have a look on a sneak peek. They don't really normally do tours here, so we've come in, I've seen how they distill it, I've seen the process of it, I've managed to taste some fantastic whiskies, although I'm not particularly a whiskey drinker. For me, the whiskey liqueur is just insane, and I hope Bill doesn't really see me, but I'm going to take a barrel for myself and have a go. Yeah, cheers, Bill.
In preparation for Saturday night's long table dinner, Will's team are still splitting their time between the 2 kitchens as space is limited.
We're heading to the TAFE now to get some stuff that we left there. Okra, turmeric leaves, and 5 boxes of chili. And then I'm probably gonna stop by the Asian market to get some instant noodles for the guys. They're missing their rice and noodles. Well, they're very homesick, like every day, every single day. What they're talking about is home.
Ya, saya udah kangen banget pulang ke Bali. Udah nggak kuat di sini dengan suasananya dingin. Terus saya udah pulang ke Bali, saya mau langsung nyari nasi Padang karena saya di sini udah tidak ada nasi Padang.
While the boys are missing home, Stephanie reveals that she is unhappy working at E&O in Jakarta and has told Will that she wants to leave.
I told him like 2 days ago, I think. I'm leaving E&O because there are some issues over there that makes me feel uncomfortable. So I told him, look, I'm leaving, but I have to wait for a new chef coming in. So after the new chef came in and knows how it works in E&O, then I'm leaving.
I think she had a few issues in E&O, but she's very happy to come and work in Hong Kong. I think it's a good opportunity for her. So now I text Sandeep in Hong Kong, and he asked me that he wants a second person from out of my team up there, so I think she should be a good addition. Budi wants another boy, but you know, I think as you can see, there's 3 boys here, and she seemed to whip them in shape pretty quickly. So I think she'll be a good person in that position underneath him.
So I have to take turmeric leaves. Do you know where Will left it?
Yes.
Yes. Can you show me, please? The ginger will be all right without you for 5 minutes. Yeah. And also 5 boxes of chili I'm gonna have to take with me.
Is he gonna throw them away without me seeing?
No. You will see on the camera.
I have somebody standing at every street corner in Hobart, checking every rubbish bin in case Will throws them away.
And also yesterday I left the okra here.
So this was, oh no.
No, it's supposed to be upstairs.
Oh. Okay,
But I'll search for it later. Chili.
You want these seriously?
Yes, 5 bucks.
Thank you.
I've asked Steph to grab 5 boxes of chilies from TAFE because I'm pretty sure Marcus is onto the fact that I've over-ordered. And it might make things hard for me when I want to order things later on.
While Stephanie has got hold of the chilies, she's having a hard time locating the turmeric leaves Will needs.
Oh, apa lagi ya? Okra. Yes. And one more thing. Okra. Yes.
Has anyone seen the okra?
Oh, yeah.
Stephanie has found the okra, but the turmeric leaves are still missing.
Thank you very much, Marcus.
Good
See you
luck with the
soon.
dinner tonight.
Thank you. Bye.
Stephanie heads back to the Henry Jones with the okra but no turmeric leaves and a whole bunch of chili she doesn't really need.
Hey Nazir, how are you? ¿Cómo estás? You are?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Listen guys, I was just wondering, I was here for breakfast and I really enjoy those macaroons, and I was wondering if maybe I can come behind the back there and see how you make them and get a few tips, because to be honest, I'm not the pastry whiz and I would love some help, and it'd be great to see what you guys do because these are amazing.
We'd love to have you in our kitchen.
Possible?
That'd be
It was an
excellent.
absolute pleasure.
Great,
Yeah,
great.
thank you.
Well, let's get in there. Where can I start? Where can I be?
Dutchie and Dutchie produce some of the tastiest bakery and pastry treats in Hobart, and they are preparing the dessert for the long table dinner on Saturday night.
Okay, so what do we start off with first?
If you follow me, we can maybe start making macaron filling.
Fillings? Okay,
Yeah.
great. All right,
Maybe
after
we
you then.
start with that.
So Nazir wastes no time in getting me working. To begin with, he's got me onto the mixture for the tart.
That's ready now, Will.
Okay, that's ready.
So we're just waiting for our passion fruit to be ready.
And then you just pour that over?
Yep, then we're going to cook it out like a creme patisserie, and then let it cool down for a few minutes, and then blitz in the butter like a curd, and then that just sets overnight in the fridge.
That easy? Yeah. And how long have you had Darcy and Darcy for?
Yeah, nearly 3 years.
3 years.
You know, in the beginning it was just us doing the cooking, and now we've got 25 staff, so
it's great.
So
I mean,
it's
you're very lucky
good.
to do beside the tape as well, because they can do
Yeah, that's right.
from there. These part of what we're doing as well?
So we're going to have we've got 650 of these. We're just doing a mock-up today because you're here. So
It's more like a butterscotch, is it?
Yes, that's right. So it's a dry caramel with butter added into it. So we just put some star anise and some cinnamon into each one.
Okay. So we're pouring this over, and we're whisking it through. So again, adding it slowly in, because otherwise the eggs will curdle. You have scrambled passion fruit. Would that be right in saying that?
Yeah.
You said you know nothing.
You know, I didn't realise that pastry could be so easy, and I suppose it's something that I've never had a teacher or someone that's really taught me pastry, and so seeing how Nazir and his wife put it together, it's fairly simple, but also I think it's very much about measurements and being precise and understanding the equipment that you use. It's always hard when you're coming up with new menus. I don't know if you find it with all your staff. You always have like 7 of them just stare, waiting for you to make them, not make a mistake, but waiting for you to show them how to do it. And you're like, Christ, I haven't done it before. What happens if it's not good? So it's always a bit daunting.
So we're just going to set this to one side to let it cool down a bit before we emulsify the butter into it. So the butter doesn't melt, keeps its volume.
So while we're waiting for that to cool down, we're popping these into the oven and then going to head out back where there's a bit more room to weave some magic. And then first off, we need to blend the mix.
So this is the finished mix.
Okay.
After 4 hours of being in the fridge. I'll just show you how much we put in each one. So it doesn't matter how it looks because it's going to be squashed together.
Okay, I'm not sure if I can do the little twist at the end, but let's go.
Perfect.
Yeah. You know, it's one thing that with a lot of the desserts that we do, it's something that you just have to try and error and trial and practice.
Yes, absolutely. And also, you know, we could go so much further with this shop, but we are dealing with young staff, apprentices.
Look at that.
You know, we need to do things
Wow.
that are easy for them to do.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. Pop that onto here.
So there we've got the beautiful macarons, but they are going to have an extra surprise on them. On Saturday night, they're going to be half spray painted with red cocoa butter.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Rising Sun macaron.
Right, beautiful. So how are those tarts doing? Do you reckon they're ready?
Let's go and have a look.
Let's have a look, shall we? Correct.
Usually let them set for about 10 minutes before we turn them out. So just flip the whole thing upside down.
Flip it upside down like that. There you go.
And then just put the foil off the top.
Great. Okay, great. Look at that.
Okay. And then on the night, everything of ours is just going to go straight on the plate. These will be refreshed in the oven, but they won't be served hot. They'll just be refreshed 10 minutes before and be at room temperature.
All right, guys, listen, thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure. And I'm glad I had a quick cooking class on my pastry, get my hone my skills on that.
Will Meyrick, such a pleasure to have you in our kitchen.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right,
thanks again.
Let's have a coffee. I hope I can match the quality of food that they have. I find that with a lot of food that we do, we kind of blunder our way through, with the chilies, and we add this and we add that. These guys are super organized, and I think, that's the difference with what I do, and I think compared to a lot of others, I cook with my palate rather than necessarily with technique. and these guys cook with technique and palate. And you know what I would love to do is come back here and maybe get in the kitchen like they offered, and maybe do a month and understand really how to do pastry properly and try and catch up for that lost time when I was younger and never managed to do it. Hey guys, how are you? How's things?
How are you, Tony?
Good.
How are you,
Will?
Hi, Will.
Hey, Dan, remember you? Oh, yes, you were there in the restaurant.
I was at a beautiful meal at Mama San, Hong Kong.
Now we're here to taste some of the oysters you're promoting and telling me about.
Great that you could come down and visit us.
Mate, it's a pleasure.
Awesome.
It's an absolute pleasure. And so what's the plan of action for today?
Plan of action, we'll probably go out in the boat and have a look out in the water.
Okay.
Just see what we can see out there. Tide's probably a little bit high, but
okay.
I'm prepared to get wet for you.
You're going to get wet?
I can get wet. I'll put the waders on and jump in.
And so I've come to check out some of Tasmania's famous oysters. And I'm stoked that Tony and Jane have offered to take me out on their boat.
All right, well, sounds like we better get to it then.
Yeah, great.
Okay, let's go.
Righto.
Tasprime Oysters are a co-op representing 5 farmers in Tasmania. Today, Will is being shown around the Pitt Water Catchment, the first area to grow Pacific oysters in Australia in 1946.
We're just going to see if we can get into the water, but the tide is very deep, high, so it'll be quite deep. I don't know if I can get in or not, but...
Okay, how shallow does it go, the water here? Does it go right out?
Right out. Not here. There's a channel here, we're actually in the channel, and these posts here are on the edge of the channel, and then when the tide's fully high, it'll be over my head.
Looks like you're due for a swim, mate.
And then down to there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too keen, I can tell you.
Come out of the water a bit squeaky. God damn it, it's cold! The scenery here is amazing. I mean, just a beautiful rainbow coming through, looking at the hills, the rolling hills, and I can see where we were the other day with Fogmore Winery. Oh, I just love the fresh air, and it's so chilled, and it's the wind. I miss Scotland, I miss the cold, you know. Normally in Indonesia, you're kind of sweating out, you're burning. Oh, it's amazing, I love it.
So Tony is going to do the honors and go for a quick dip on our behalf and allow us to taste these oysters straight out of the water.
Hold on. But the basket's on there.
I just love how everyone grows things here, and everyone cares about how it's grown. Everyone cares about the produce. Everyone cares about the environment. And you kind of forget that when you start living in places in Asia. The environment's not kept as well. The ingredients, there's not so much consistency in it, and people really strive to create perfect products here, and it's great to see that. It kind of gives me faith again to go back and start, you know, using a lot of Tasmanian products. And now I've seen how it comes and where it's been grown. It's a big inspiration for me to see this, and I can't wait to start using it all over again, because now I know where it's all come from. Oh, beautiful, thank you.
Can't get much fresher than that.
Certainly can't. From the sea to the mouth. Oh, it's fantastic. When you're handling, what are you looking for?
Well, they'll rehouse and they'll resize. So you'll get some oysters in a basket that grow quicker than others.
Yeah.
So they'll be resizing those and they'll lower the densities. We want this nice deep cup, which is all full of meat.
Yeah.
So our oysters might not be very long, but that deep cup is all full of meat.
Okay. Like all of the producers that I'm checking out down here in Tasmania, they really know their stuff, and they really care about the quality of food that they produce.
So what's amazing about it is you can feel the weight, and you can feel how juicy and meaty, and when he opens it, you really see how plump those oysters are. And when I see them in Hong Kong and I see them here, of course, this is fresh from the sea, they're full of juice and protein, and they're just amazing. When you get them to Hong Kong, they're probably, what, 3 or 4 days old. They're still very good and very tasty, but it's just amazing to feel straight from the water and how great they are. So Can't wait to be using these for Savor Tasmania and be able to put my Nam Jim on them and slurp them down. I'm so glad I've made the time to come out here, because it's been inspirational to see how these oysters have been put together. And you know, soon I've got to go back in the kitchen and start head down and not seeing the light of day for the next 4 days. So this is great to be out in the open doors. I wish the young guys were able to come out here, but unfortunately they've got to keep on pushing on with the prep. And you know, this is, what more can you ask for Tasmania? You're here, you're getting the inspiration right now.
So when we heard that Will was coming down today, we wanted to give him a brief outline of what's here at the shed and what the processes are, but really to get him out in the water and have a look at how we grow the oysters. To get that validation from someone that's in the industry, to come out and see your farm. We're stuck here most of the time trying to work and grow oysters, get excited by what they see, and it just gives that validation that we're on the right track and trying to produce a good oyster and a good product for people to eat.
Doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So, with the long table dinner coming up tomorrow, Will has to head back into town and start preparing for the main event. The real reason he is here: to cook for 650 people.